we are back, slightly different, with some changes in these COVID times. 3 changes, in fact. One of them, I finally have wine that I have personally gone into a supermarket with a mask on to get, as opposed to being delivered. Secondly, I could not take it any longer, and so I've had a family haircut from mostly my daughter. And the other change is that I've moved to the Nikon Z50 or Z50, which hopefully will get a slightly better quality. I did say in a few of the videos, if you were even remotely paying attention, which you probably were not for good reason, that I would change the video format, and this was what it was going to be. I can see now it has a flippy screen like that. So when I started doing these back in, well, it must have been October, November last year, I decided to start doing more of these, and they must be 4K. I upgraded from a D7200 to a D7500 because it was 4K and thought everything would be fantastic, but it wasn't, because the focus is appalling. The focus implementation software is appalling in that camera for video, and there's no flippy screeny thing. So I apologize. I was using the iPhone 11 Pro, and not only was I using the iPhone 11 Pro, but I was using it with the screen pointing this way, so I could cut things quickly. So let's see. Hopefully this is better. I'm using the stock 16-50 lens. I have been playing around with the other lenses, but the focus of this lens is absolutely amazing. And so, yeah, let's see how we get on. So these 2 wines are very interesting, not only because it's the first time that I've been into a supermarket for months, but it shows, it's another, well, one of them at least shows another trend of something a bit weird that's happening in Spanish wine that I've noticed. And that is, as many of us, I'm sure you have been on lots of horizontal and vertical, that was a diagonal, sorry. Horizontal, vertical and diagonal wine tastings. Generally you can spot the trend, you can see how things are changing, and especially if they stick to the same grapes, if it's a pure Tempranillo, which is quite often the case in Rioja, which is the case with one of these wines, the Duque de Miralta, and another set of wines I'm going to do from the Cune family, you can see what's going on. Obviously, when they introduce other grapes, it changes things, but generally, I mean, if something's 90, 95, a large percentage of Tempranillo, you can still feel past the Mazuelo and the Graciano and see a trend. But ultimately, the reason I'm rambling on like this is that I've got this Duque de Miralda, which is in fact made by El Coto, and El Coto is one of my favorite wines, least of all because it was one of the few wines that were easily and readily available in London when I moved here. Spanish Riojas at a reasonable price, which when I was a student were readily available here. And so I used to drink quite a lot of it. It's very nice indeed. However, I haven't bought another bottle because we are in COVID times. I only had I had to go physically into a shop and carry it whilst fighting with a mask, etc. And I honestly didn't think it was worth it. But whilst this Reserva is amazing, and I haven't tried the Gran Reserva because, again, I didn't want to carry too many bottles, and we'll do that in another one. The Crianza is awful. The Crianza of this, with the white label, is really Plonk. It's a Plonker. However, this yellow little number, the Reserva, and it's still pure Tempranillo, is absolutely very nice. So I already have it open, if you don't mind. And I swapped my glasses around earlier, not because I have OCD, just because these are sort of handmade glasses, and one of them is more bulbous than the other, and this one I'm going to keep for the slightly better wine because of its shape. We're going to get to a very nice wine in a second, but this is really nice. I don't know if you can see, the colour is this astonishing colour. It's got lovely legs on it, not that that really means anything these days, but it is just a lovely, lovely wine. I mean, it's got the usual rubbish written on the side for easy drinking British markets, with things like suitable for vegans, which is very interesting information. But it's kind of, well, I suppose that is. I'm being horrible now. The vegan thing is good because it means that they haven't filtered it with egg white. Good. Okay. But, you know, these kind of C for full-bodied, goes well with paella, I mean, honestly. Anyway, so this really doesn't give you anything away, apart from the fact that it is American oak, which obviously gives it some of its lovely sort of vanilla-y and almost licorice-y sort of. Unfortunately, this is still a little too cold, which is not a clever thing to do. I opened it early in the weekend, and the temperature has changed in the UK from, it was 30 some degrees when I bought this, and it's now dropped to 20 something, or possibly even below, I'll be quite honest with you. But yeah, I think we're going to leave this to warm up a bit, because either I've finally succumbed to COVID-19 and can't taste it anymore, or that wine is indeed too cold. Now, the other one we've got is Contino. Now, if I didn't say it before, the supermarket that I finally went to is Marks and Spencer's, which is kind of, I think, famous most places in the world. When I lived in far-flung places of the world, people would ask my family when we went to England and then back again to bring them, you know, things like knickers and stuff like that. But they have branched out from knickers and suits, and they do have quite a nice wine selection. And this Contino you can also get from Sainsbury's. I haven't seen it in Sainsbury's because, well, the Sainsbury's I go to is a little tiny local when I did used to go there. But this is a single vineyard wine. It has the secrets of a very good Rioja in that it is a mixture of Graciano, Mazuelo and Tempranillo, and it is estate bottled single vineyard, which, you know, means that they're in control of all their own wine, which may or may not be the case of El Coto recently, I don't know, but El Coto or Duque de Miralta, they make such good wine generally. But I would like to know, and I'd love if somebody could tell me, why we have situations where I also was in Spain in Christmas and had the Cune 2015 Reserva, and it was a pale, light imitation of this kind of a wine. And why El Coto have the same? Now, I don't know whether they are just not pruning the vines and so you're getting a lot more fruit per hectare. And is this something for a British market that people like? I don't know. But this one I bought in Spain, so I don't know. Maybe it's a new market of wine drinkers who prefer easy drinking wines. Still the best Sainsbury's, and there we have it. I won't get too close because whilst this is good autofocus, it doesn't have something I was looking at the Sony called product shot. But we do not mind. Now there's a bit of deposit on there, which I will show you in some B-roll. But all smells good. Yeah. Yeah, it's just Pozos. Settlement. Is it called settlement? Thanks. And we're very lucky to have 2015, which is just a wonderful, it's a wonderful year for Contino. Now, Contino makes me very, very happy. It is not cheap. It is £25 a bottle. But I'll be honest with you, I can't think of many better ways of spending £25, and especially now we're not going to pubs as much. If you went to a pub, £25 would be a couple of glasses of insignificance. If you're lucky, in England and London, your mileage may vary in other parts of the world. But here in the UK, that is, it is, if you just want to have a really nice bottle of wine, this is it. This is, I mean, it's not quite the Val Serrano, but then we were drinking Gran Reservas. It's certainly above the Cune, and obviously by price as well, and the Baronia. But it just makes me happy that you can go to a supermarket in the UK and spend £25, which, yeah, if even when I came back as a student many years ago to London, you could still spend £20 on a bottle of wine and be disappointed. Probably not if it came from Spain, but this is astonishing, and it has one of the things that I love most of sort of what I'd call complex Riojas, and that is this Liquorice Umami, and I'm going to call it that. I have no idea what it's called, but there is this licoriceness in the aftertaste of these wines that I almost, I think that kind of taste is how they train pigs to find truffles. It is, you get people addicted to that, and it is literally, it is just, you will hunt it out. It is. It is just lovely. And I love, well, the bottle was clearly done by the vineyard rather than some marketing agency or supermarket marketing people. But limestone soils, 62 hectare estates, aged in oak, doesn't tell you where from, and then in the bottle. Shows the unique terroir characteristics of this outstanding natural site. They don't tell us what the terroir statistics are, unless it's just that it's all limestone. But I haven't tasted and noticed difference in the different Continos. But they are, I mean, it is, they're brilliant. And neither of these two wines, this is 25, and this is 15, I think, something around there. But the Crianza was 10, and honestly, I mean, it's just a waste of money. 15 on this, or 25 on that, is worth 2 or 3 of the Crianzas any day long. And if you can't find these ones, then do look up El Coto. So, rather than just hear me going on, there's one thing that I really enjoyed. Well, A, because part of the things I do for a living was making apps, and Vivino came out when I was doing an app store for a mobile network operator. And so I thought I'd go through the Vivino selection as well. The Vivino ratings, sorry. And it's quite funny because I was in a restaurant a while ago with some people who basically chose wine on the lists by the Vivino rating, which I thought was quite interesting. And anything above a 4 was an amazing wine. And so the Contino is a 4.1, which is good to see. It says it's £21.52 average price, so naughty Marks and Spencers. They have overcharged me. But Spanish Rioja, they cannot resist the beef, lamb, veal and poultry. It's like, I mean, the food pairing, who still does the food pairing on wines? It's just nuts. So let's go to the flavours, because I'd like to see what other people have seen in these wines, and not, some snooty wine critic, but people who actually drink these wines and are bothered to put a review. So definitely oak and vanilla, and tart cherry. Now this is possibly getting towards the umami side that I was talking about. Oaks have some pretty firm tannin. I don't get firm tannins on this. But then I don't know what firm tannin means. Now tobacco is something that you will get in this, and I think it is getting towards that. Maybe the tobacco is what I am rather amateurishly calling the Liquorice Umami. I do like licorice though, that's probably why. And it needs a 2-hour decanting time. Now that's interesting because we found some sediment. I would not normally, most Riojas are made with passing the wine between barrels, and which I forget the term. It is essentially a reductive, oxidative way of making wine, and so generally it's doesn't need decanting. But this one does have some pozos, and you see, somebody who, it doesn't say how many points has given it. It says 2 hours decanting, but it does come with licorice licked oak. Now there's a new one. Nutmeg, definitely. Crushed cherry, plum, rosebud, new leather, and mocha, definitely. I must make a note, by the way, I am selling the D7500 on eBay, and the listing ends any minute now, and so it's driving me up the... I'm just getting loads and loads and loads of messages coming through. Vanilla coconut, no way. Dill, no way. Clove, you see as you get further down, it just gets a bit... cedar caramel toffee, yeah, I could get that in there. Now bear in mind, this may be, even though I've put 2015, Vivino's a bit naughty sometimes. I think most editorials or apps, if they don't have enough content, they'll mix from different years. But yeah, 85% Tempranillo, 10% Grenache, Mazuelo and Graciano. Don't think that's reliable. So we decanted it for 90 minutes. Interesting. They do all say splendid, and 4.1 is definitely a review that I would like. So we're going to go to the Duque de Miralta, which I hope is in here. I did... So we want the Reserva, and this is also a 4.1 and clearly mentions that it's from El Coto. Average price of $16.90, so there you go. I either don't remember what I paid in Marks and Spencer's, or they were very good on this price. So it reads like the same review. Oak, vanilla, tobacco, plum, blackberry, dark fruit, cherry, red fruit, raspberry. Show all. Cinnamon, pepper, licorice. You see, it does have this licorice thing. Basically, the reason I put these two together is this is a kind of a budget version of this, right? So if things have gone quite well for you on a Thursday or Friday evening, there you go. If you need a decent wine, but you don't feel that you can splash out £25, get this instead. Dried fruit and prune. Now I have picked that up in this one, if I can find my glass. Yep. There's no lemon or green fig. But yeah, I'm quite happy that these are both 4.1s. And you should be too if you have one of these two wines. They are absolutely amazing. Just don't go super budget and get the Crianza instead. So I hope you enjoyed this. I cannot wait to do the next episode. And here's to the amazing value that is good Spanish wine, and especially the Contino. Oh. And look at that, you see, these are two really good wines. There is nothing wrong with these two wines. They will make your life a happier place, if of course you drink wine and like red wine. If you don't, then maybe they won't. See you in the next one.